Okay, video number 3. Sorry about that. Kind of forgot what I was talking about. Anyway, so I was telling you how I was reacting to chemotherapy. So that was my first chemo was bad, so he did put me on the milder chemotherapy, which I handled fine, and you don't lose your hair on that chemo. And I was happy about that because I thought all chemos were the same and that everybody lost their hair. But that's breast cancer is the one that the chemotherapy that makes all your hair fall out and your eyelashes and your eyebrows and everything. So, I mean, luckily, that wasn't the one I was taking, but I mean, I don't know how lucky really are you with cancer. But yeah, so I was on that for a while, and then a friend of mine that I had met since I had cancer, her daughter actually died at 31, and that was 8 years ago, and she came over to visit me, and she told me that she wanted me to get the treatment her daughter never had a chance to get, and that it was too late for her, but it wasn't too late for me. So she wanted to help me, and I guess, you know, she wanted to take me to see her doctors in Dallas and consult with them, and I sent them my results of my test and everything, and they went over everything, and they recommended that I go ahead and get traditional chemotherapy here in Naples, Florida, and by a local oncologist, and just do that traditional chemo and see if I could shrink the tumors or whatever, and then to make it easier to qualify me for this surgery that they do over there, which I heard only like 10 doctors in the country do it. It's called HIPEC surgery. I think that's how you say it. HIPEC. And that's where they go in and they remove the tumors surgically, and then they put a hot chemo wash through your abdominal walls, and then they close you up for like 90 minutes, and they have hoses running into you and out of you, like draining it and pumping it constantly for 90 minutes. So that was a surgery that they said once, see if I could get rid of it or just totally go into remission and not need the surgery. So I was on chemo for the 8 months, but this is going, let me see, in February I went to Linda. Linda's the one whose daughter passed at 31. She invited me to a cancer fundraiser that she does every year in Illinois. So she flew me to her house in Illinois. She also has a house here in Marco Island. And she flew me to her house to the cancer fundraiser. And she wanted me to meet her doctor, Dr. Nemunitis, who is in Dallas, Texas, the oncologist. And he asked me, well, what kind of medicines are you on? And I told him I was on 5-FU and leucovorin. And he goes, well, that's a maintenance drug. Why are you on that? He goes, why doesn't he have you on aggressive chemo? With your stage of cancer, not to scare you, he goes, but your survival rate will be 1 year if you don't get on to some aggressive chemo right away. And so he did scare the hell out of me anyway. So after he told me that, I went back home, and when I went to see my doctor in Naples, I told him what the other doctor told me. He kind of laughed about saying, oh, he told you you'll be dead in a year, like you're, like, oh, I can't believe he told you that, but whatever. Anyway, he said, well, so the doctor in Dallas also recommended, well, I said he took me off of the aggressive chemo because I had such a bad reaction to it, and he wanted to give me some quality of life, is what the reason that he told me he was giving me quality of life. And he goes, well, that's when he told me that, quality versus quantity. Yeah, you'll have some quality, but you'll also be dead in a year. So, yeah, that didn't sound good. And then I said, well, what medicines would you recommend, since the other one didn't agree with me? He said, there are other chemotherapies out there that work very well with colon cancer. He said there's the Camptazar, which is called CTP11. And also, later I spoke with his nurse, and she recommended mixing Avastin with the Camptazar, and so that concoction actually is called, without the Avastin, it's actually called Fulfiri. Fulfiri is the name of that one. And that one, I started doing it when I got back, so that was like February 28th or 29th, I think, when I went. So March I started with the new chemo, which was the Fulfiri, and then he added Avastin after, like slowly added a little bit more and more of that drug. And I seem to be tolerating that okay. He did say the Camptazar, the CPT-11, would make me either thin my hair or lose it. Some people had just hair thinning and some people lost their hair. He said everybody was different on that. And so I was like, okay, whatever, you know. It is what it is, you know. If I have to lose my hair, I have to lose my hair. So my hair did start thinning, and so I had some balding spots towards the back and around. But, you know, I didn't lose my bangs in the back of my hair, and it just really got thin, really bad. So I actually did wear a wig because I'm a hairdresser and I worked at the Marriott here in Marco Island Beach. So it's a big spa and salon. I've been there, was there for 8 years. And, well, they just laid me off this past December. And, well, today's date actually is June 7th or 8th. I think it's June 8th today, 2012. So, yeah, to top it off, I got laid off and cancer. But anyway, so back to where was I? So with the chemotherapies, I did that treatment for, he wanted to continue for 8 months chemo. I was going to say, yeah, I started losing my hair, so I started wearing a wig. I was off of work for short-term disability for my surgery, and then I just stayed off for the 6 months since I was doing chemo and stuff. And then I went back to work after my 6 months ran out, and I was still on chemo, but I had like 2 months left, and then I was going to be done. So I went back to work, and I just started wearing a wig, and it was fine. It was cute, you know. And so anyway, I had a test, and after my 8th month of chemo, it said I was in remission. He called me, and I had a CAT scan and a PET scan. They said I was in remission. And so this was about in September when I had the CAT scan that showed that I was in remission. So I was like, couldn't believe it. I was like, what? That's like a miracle. How could that be, you know? Because it was so bad when the surgeon got up there, you know, and did the surgery. He said it was like all over my abdominal walls and it spread everywhere. And I couldn't believe that they said I was in remission, that it was gone. So I was like so happy, thinking, oh my gosh, you know, I'm not going to have to do chemo anymore. So 3 more months go by, and then I go back and get my second or third, fourth, whatever CAT scan that was by now. December, it was December 1st? Yeah. I went and they said the cancer had came back, and I had like 3 or 4 tumors. So this is December now, 2011. Okay, to be continued. Signing off now.